Whenever I speak about Rosh Hashanah, I speak about the same thing. It's all about what you live for. It's all about defining what life is to you. We ask for life. What do you want? Why do you want to live? And ultimately, what Rosh Hashanah is about is understanding what makes human life different than animal. What makes human life different than everything else that was created. Remember, the first day of creation was not on Rosh Hashanah. It was the sixth day of creation. It was the day man was created. What does it mean to be a human being? It means to choose and have the ability to make intelligent choices. The truth is that our own experiences, if we only tune into ourselves, our own experiences give us a very clear difference between what are the things that really make us feel good about ourselves. And what are the things, even if they're pleasant or enjoyable for the moment, really diminish us. So much of it we know ourselves. Simply tuning into your feelings. You know, you meet a kid at a more stable moment, a little kid, and really present him with a question of what feels better, giving or receiving. Every kid knows it feels so much better to give than to receive. How long does a new toy last anyway? You give something, it's forever. And even the outrageous question, what feels better? Giving into your instincts or exercising self-control? Self-control, what am I, a monk? Any perceptive human being who's just tuned into his own feelings knows how good it feels when you are in control of yourself. Certainly when we understand the context, that we are creations, the Almighty created us in a way that we're constantly choosing between our instincts and our intuition. Our instincts rooted in our bodies and our intuition, which is really drawing from that piece of godliness within us, the neshama. And we're choosing to be close to Hashem or far away. That's really what it amounts to. But your own experiences, you don't have to take his word for it. Your own experiences, if you're only perceptive, your own experiences back this up. This is the universal human experience. And knowing where it comes from makes it so much more powerful. Rosh Hashanah is about choosing life, choosing quality of life, choosing what you want to live for, choosing what it is that you want to look like. What kind of person do you want to be? It's what the day is about. It's not about sins. It's about who are you? What do you live for? Once again, defining life. What's so beautiful is when you finally get it, it feels so right and feels so good. Another thing I always teach, Rosh Hashanah is a festival. It is the festival of judgment. Only Jews are crazy enough to celebrate judgment. There too, is there anything that builds one more than that sense of responsibility? Now, how do you build kids? Kids got to get up every morning and go to school. How do you get them out of bed? You can nag. You can put on a song and dance act every morning and try to get them out of bed. I find you buy him an alarm clock, take him shopping, let him choose an alarm clock. He's got his own alarm clock. It works, never fails. The kid jumps out of bed in the morning. He is taking responsibility for himself. He sets his alarm clock every night and wakes up because his alarm clock rang. He feels so good about it. He took responsibility for himself. There's nothing that builds like responsibility. Taking responsibility for yourself. We know when it comes to tzedakah, Rambam tells us the highest level of tzedakah is not supporting everybody for his whole life. That's not the highest level. That's not building him. The highest level of tzedakah is help him set up his own business. Give him the gift of independence. That's the greatest. That is the greatest. That's what we're celebrating. We are the only elements in the entire universe that have responsibility, that have the ability to choose and are responsible. You make your choices and you live by them. You benefit from the right ones and you suffer the consequences of the wrong ones. And it's worth celebrating, even if you've made mistakes and suffer the consequences, because whatever success there is, you enjoy as your own. There's nothing like responsibility. We celebrate responsibility. So Rosh Hashanah is the day of defining life, celebrating human life. It's the day we celebrate human life, which is celebrating responsibility, celebrating making intelligent choices, and celebrate our relationship with the Almighty, which ultimately is what brings us all the happiness, everything good, building ourselves to match up to his values and his wisdom. That's the day. We coronate him, we call him king. That means buying into his goal, his purpose in having created us. That's the day. It's heavy, it's serious, but it's so joyous. Celebrating humanity, celebrating being human. You know, out in the world when people say, oh, I'm only human, we use the term human to sort of get away with anything. I'm only human. The Jew doesn't look at it that way. There's no such thing as being only human. We're human. There's nothing a human being can't do. Free will means we can choose to do anything. If we believe in it, we'll do what it takes. We'll stop at nothing. Celebrating humanity doesn't mean celebrating weakness. It means celebrating strength. How is it? How is it that we put lions into zoos? Who's stronger? How do we manage to do it? We put whales into aquariums. We put sharks into aquariums. We've got intelligence. We've got resolve. When there's something we want to do, we can do it. The Almighty invested in us. We've got the brain. We've got the creativity. And our greatest is willpower. That's what we're celebrating. Being human. Not being only human. Being human. We're all the way up there. Angels have no free will. They're limited. They can only do what they are. They're limited by the way they're defined. And so too every animal has its nature, its instincts. It can only be what it is. It can't be anything else. We're the only ones that can choose to do absolutely anything. Celebrate it. Feel great about it. Be thankful and build the resolve to become as great as you can, which is really what we do when we ask for life. Give yourself an exciting definition of life, of what you really want to become, the kind of person you want to be. I'm talking about what you're going to do for a living. The quality of character, the resolve, and the amount that you're going to dedicate yourself for the good of the Jewish people. So celebrate Rosh Hashanah. It's not a spooky day. It's a happy day. It's heavy, but it's a very happy day. Celebrate being human and make the most of being human. And ask Hashem to give you the greatest of what a human being can be. Taking full control of yourself. Taking full responsibility for everything you do. And taking responsibility for the Jewish nation. That's the life you're asking for. And celebrate. Yeah, that's it. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. I often say, what are you judged by on Rosh Hashanah? I think the more you're capable of celebrating it, the better you are. You're judged by how much you celebrate being human, by how much you want to use your humanity, by how much you want to live. That's what it's about. So think about it. Prepare yourself. And understand why we sing on Rosh Hashanah. Understand why we're happy to be judged. Why we feel fortunate. We feel fortunate with judgment. Yeah, we put a little prayer that Hashem has mercy too. Because as much as we want to be responsible, we know we've dropped it. And he does love us unconditionally and understands. But that's not the key. The key is not just to tune into his mercy. The key is the resolve to live with real responsibility for ourselves and everyone around us. All right. Should have a great year. Everyone have a great year. And a meaningful year, a year where all of us grow and be the greatest people we can. Any questions? Yeah.
How do we relate to the simanim on Rosh Hashanah, and how do they play into the celebration?
The secret of the simanim. The secret of the simanim. I'm constantly quoting from the Bnei Yissaschar, written by the Admor of Dinov. Good Hasidic sefer. That's the best place to look if you ever want to understand the Chag or anything about a season. What he says about the simanim is very simple. He says that we're asking for human life, as if to say we don't yet have it and we want it. That which really portrays human life more than anything else is the ability to speak. Animals communicate. Human beings have speech. We articulate. See, he says the Gemara was looking for a way that we could communicate to Hashem that we want life without using words, as if to say, we want human life that we do not yet have. So the Gemara said, hey, we have a great idea. We'll speak in sign language, which means that it's not that you dip your apple into honey, and the more apple and the more honey you have, the sweeter your year is going to be. It's your way of communicating. Your way of communicating. Hashem, I want human life that is so sweet. Yeah, I want to be ahead. I want to be all the different things that the words signify and the different things we're eating. That is a prayer without words. That's basically what he says. It's a prayer without words. And even though the custom is to recite a prayer, we say you wrote some with it. He says that's not it. The eating is the prayer. It's a prayer without words, as if to say we're looking for human life on a level that we do not yet have it, and human life is best represented by speech. So give me something. I don't have speech yet. I don't have the full humanity yet. Yeah.
Is there anything that the Rosh would recommend that we should do going into, like, have prepare before Rosh Hashanah?
You have to really define what you live for, and start planning. What do you want to become? What do you want to become? I'm talking about the whole picture. Again, not to be superficial. What do you want to be like? What kind of character do you want to have? And try practicing a little bit so that you know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Some say that we're not supposed to cry on Rosh Hashanah, and some say we are supposed to.
You can cry out of emotion. You
Not
don't.
emotion or scared.
That's it. You can cry out of strong feelings for Hashem. The tears of feeling close to the Creator. These are not tears of regret, are not permissible on Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah is a yontif, zehu. It is a yontif and nothing more or nothing less. It's a happy day. It's a day to feel close to Hashem, and if that brings you to tears, wonderful. That's depth of feeling, but not if they're coming from sadness or regret. Yeah.
Two questions. Number one is the shofar is kind of a hard thing to connect to. It's this kind of sound of this like hurt animal, and I have a very hard time with it. The second question I have is, what do you do on Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur for that matter? If somebody's behind you, just really annoying, yelling out there, davening, fake crying. I mean, you just get annoyed with it. They're like davening like a muppet. They're like, just like, and it just annoys you because it gets in your way.
So
how do you put yourself
I'll answer the second one first.
Okay.
As far as number 2 goes, you have 2 choices. One choice is that you really take upon yourself. I'm going to live up to this challenge of not being irritated by this noise over there. And this is part of being human. That's the kind of human life I want. That nobody can deprive me of my happiness. No one can steal my happiness from me because of the noises. That's one way. The other way is change your seat. As far as the shofar is concerned, I don't know how to break this to you, but we very much believe that everything that exists was created for us. The focus of the fact that we don't celebrate the first day of creation, we celebrate only the day that man was created. Everything that exists in the world was created to serve us. That doesn't mean that we are to consume it in a way that's either immoral or just inefficient, but it means that it was there to serve us. And as a result of that, while we have to be careful, which is what shechita is, the Torah doesn't say don't eat meat. What the Torah does say is if you're going to kill an animal, it should be done in a humane way, in a way that's painless. The shofar serving us, taking something from the animal kingdom that naturally does something for us, yeah, they were created for us. They were created. They're not our equals. Yeah, the animal is our environment. We are not the animal's environment. The reason why we are not cruel to animals is not because they have rights. The reason we're not cruel to animals is because that's inhumane, because that takes away from our humanity.
You say they have rights, what do you mean?
I mean, today they believe that animals have rights.
What is that?
You can hire a lawyer and have him sue on behalf of someone's dog. Now, I don't have who says that I'm superior? To us, that's totally deranged. That's off. That's off. It's coming from a very nice place, but it's deranged. What we do believe is that part of being human is being humane. You're not cruel to an animal, not because of the animal's suffering, but because of what you're doing to yourself. So man using animal for his purpose is very much acceptable. They're created for us. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about holding ourselves accountable after the Yom Tovim? So we have all these things we're going to work on.
See, I'll tell you, that's much more an issue of Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is about our behavior. Rosh Hashanah is about really getting our goals in life straight. If what you're asking is, how do I remember what my goals are? Yeah, you have to remind yourself. If what that means is reading the first parak of Mesilas Yesharim once a week or once every 2 weeks, okay, do that. If you need a reminder. Yom Kippur is much more really charting yourself on a regular basis as to your behavior. Yeah.
If we spend from now until Rosh Hashanah trying to get the message and trying to implement it in our lives, what exactly happens on Rosh Hashanah that helps that?
On Rosh Hashanah, Hashem allocates opportunities and resources. And if you come to Hashem on Rosh Hashanah with a very good plan of what you want to be, a nice description of what you want to be, he decides if you're worth investing in. And if it's the right plan, he'll give you the resources and the opportunities you need to become that person you're dreaming of becoming. Yeah.
When the Rosh Hashanah says, come in with a good plan, when throughout the day do we speak out that plan?
I don't know if you have to put it into words.
We have it in our mind, it's okay.
You have it in mind. Yeah, when you say, first example, when you say Zachrenu L'chaim, remember us to life, you should have a clear picture in your mind of the life you want, what you want to look like. And, every time we repeat that should be the case. Yeah.
Do we really have the free will to do anything, the ability to do anything, because Hashem gave us the opportunity to choose?
We do, but don't pretend you're Superman. Don't go jumping out the window and think you're going to fly. Everything has to be built. There is nothing more powerful than human resolve. Human beings have done the impossible. And what made them do it is not supernatural stuff. It's the resolve and the passion. And ultimately, there's no limit. We are limited by the degree to which we are passionate. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about relationships, how I guess the best way to bridge them before Rosh Hashanah?
Our approach to working on relationships on Rosh Hashanah is taking full responsibility ourselves. So the example of the guy behind one who's disturbing him, in all relationships, we believe strongly that either one could make it work. On Rosh Hashanah, you learn that we stop focusing on everyone else's problems and we take full responsibility for making things work regardless of what they're like. That's part of the day, is to feel I'm capable of undertaking, doing the impossible, making it work, not allowing things to disturb me, not allowing things to irritate me. To be proactive in making things good. Dealing with difficult people is one of those challenges Hashem really gives us when he puts us into this world. He plants difficult people everywhere. And for us to build the character where we're capable of dealing with people that are difficult, which takes a certain amount of strategy and know-how, but for the most part, it's resolve. I'm not going to allow things to bother me. I am not going to take things personally. I understand someone's got problems. He doesn't mean it. I can be his friend anyway. Yeah.
Would you say that'd be a good idea in a couple of days leading up to Rosh Hashanah? Maybe grab some time, a piece of paper and a pen, and just from a superficial to a deep level, think about just plan our lives, how we see it working out, and
That's great. That's great. Yeah, it makes things very real to us. Makes things very until you either speak it out or even more so put it into writing. I mean, we are visual people. Until you do that, it can remain very theoretical. Yeah. What time is it? You're over. Ooh. Okay, one more. That's it. Yeah.
Is it possible for Rosh Hashanah to discuss the kavanah and the preparation for Selichot leading up to Rosh Hashanah?
the days leading up to Rosh Hashanah Rosh Hashanah are the days that you're preparing yourself, you're anticipating receiving from Hashem. In other words, what you're doing is Hashem is going to give on Rosh Hashanah. These are the days that I'm preparing myself for it. As we do that, we really doubt ourselves and wonder, am I worthy? Selichos are really coming to Hashem and trying to tell him, we understand we haven't lived up to what we should be, but buy into us anyway. Take our word for it. It's really what all of Selichos are. We're asking Hashem to forego so much of where we went wrong and the mistakes we make, and understand we want to go somewhere else. And help us. Here we are. We're coming back to the good old investor whom we disappointed in the past. And we want him to believe in us and invest in us again. So aside from getting your resolve, you also have to do a lot of begging. And that's what Selichos is. Okay, I must stop. It's already late. There are a lot of good people around that you can ask.